Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be playing another game of League of Legends. We're playing at the Platinum level currently, and we're trying to get our way all the way up to Diamond by only playing support every game, if this is your first time joining the channel. So let's go ahead and get in there. Don't have a dedicated duo partner. Most of our games are solo queue. If we do duo, it is usually with lower tier players, and we often lose when we play those. So I have tried to cut duoing out quite a lot. If you've watched any of my past videos, I'm pretty sure that duo queuing with low golds, even though I probably had over a 50% win record with them, ultimately just destroys your MMR, because if you win or lose, if you break even is what I'm trying to say, then you actually lose your hidden MMR, which influences the kind of matches that you get in. So I believe that happened to me earlier. So this is just word of the wise. I would not duo rank or multi-rank or whatever. Just don't play ranked games with people that are significantly lower than you in MMR or in ELO in the game. So if you're Platinum like I am right now, if you're currently Plat 5, Plat 4, something like that, then don't duo with people that are lower than maybe Gold 1. I know they're your friends. I know it's hard to walk away from that. I love playing with my friends. They're loyal. It's not that I don't want to play with them. It's just that mathematically, if I'm trying to get to Diamond, it doesn't make sense. So just play normal games. And, don't be offended if someone only wants to play normal games with you. They're not saying you're a bad player, necessarily. At least I'm not saying that. When I'm saying I want to play normals with people, all that you're saying is that mathematically it doesn't make sense to duo queue with someone that is more than, say, 2 or 3 divisions lower than you. By the way, you should ban Jhin every game in this meta. I mean, Nautilus is okay. I don't know if he's worth a ban. Maybe he is. This is my first game on patch 6.16, but Jhin is just way too powerful. My last couple of videos, I don't know if I'm going to release my last one. It was a Lulu game. I tried out new Lulu. Actually, it may not have been new Lulu. I thought it was patch 6.16 yesterday, but apparently it's today. So they just had the patch notes up, and I had to load some stuff, but it wasn't 6.16. I'm not really sure, but I still think that Lulu is not really that great for the reasons I described in that video. I guess I'll release it. The only reason that I'm kind of hesitant to release it was a good game, and we did end up winning. Well, spoiler alert there, I guess. But the problem is I was just complaining a lot, and I don't really like to be negative or complain, but I was complaining about Jhin a lot because their Jhin was just very bad, relative to this ELO, and he was just dominating. And it's just frustrating when there's a champion that is not being played very well and is dominating. Okay. Got Riven and Draven. Janna. Now, Janna is very good here. I don't particularly like Tahm Kench into that. Nami's pretty good. Nautilus would have been good. Zyra is okay. I think I'll do Nami. Just have a new subscriber as well that said that he was a huge fan of Nami, so I promised I would try to get in some more Nami games, and I think this looks pretty decent for Nami. It's not outstanding. It's not outstanding. Oh god, is this guy really gonna do that? He's seriously gonna do a Aurelion Soul jungle? And a top, yeah. Okay, we're gonna chill for a second. I wasn't reading the text, I was just like thinking and talking. Someone else dodged, thank goodness. Okay, because I was gonna have to dodge that. Yeah, I mean, why? Like, the guy's right. Like, why would you... I mean, it's not that off-meta picks are always bad. It's that picks that don't make sense for a certain role are bad. Like Aurelion Sol in the jungle. What is a situation where that would be good? Like, what does Aurelion Sol in the jungle do that's better than other junglers. That's what you want to think when you're picking a champion. You want to think, what is this champion's unique strengths, and why is it the best choice for this comp, or for going against the enemy comp? And I can't think of anything that Aurelion Sol brings to the table. Okay, he's got some potential gank potential. Well, to use too many potentials there. He can jump through walls, right? Alright, he has magic damage. That's a perk. Lots of people get physical damage. But he doesn't have good things for jungle. He's not tanky. He doesn't have any inherent sustain. He doesn't scale particularly well with jungle items. He's got okay poke, but he's not good in small skirmishes. Like 2-on-2s, which is what you're going to be facing in lane a lot. 2-on-2 or 2-on-3 if their jungler backs you up. Or backs up their team. It's just bad. Like, I mean, just think about the junglers that are good and popular right now. Like, there are a couple of different styles. Like, you've got one is, okay, I want AP damage, burst, pick comp type of junglers. That's your Nidalee, that's your Elise type of champions. Okay, those aren't very good in solo queue at my elo, at platinum, gold, even lower. I think you really have to be a very good, dedicated jungler. And those are risky because your other... you don't know what everyone else on your team is going to play, and if no one takes a tank, it could be really bad. So I highly recommend not playing those. If you're going to play one of those, I think Elise is better than Nidalee right now for solo queue. But then the other more standard type is sort of your tanky jungler with CC. I mean, that's been a winning formula since the dawn of League of Legends. Tanky jungler, CC, decent mobility. Okay, so that's going to be Gragas. It's kind of number one, right? Like, very tanky, has sustain in the jungle, has nice clear, AoE, scales fairly well, fits into almost any comp. He can engage, he can disengage, he can skirmish, he can 5v5, like, he can just do it all. He's just the jack of all trades, very good. Who else is solid right now? I don't see Trundle a lot in the jungle, but I think Trundle would fit criteria for being someone who's solid. Sejuani can be okay. I'm trying to think watching pro games. Oh, Rek'Sai, same deal. I don't really know Rek'Sai's kit super well. When she was released, I wasn't playing the game and I've never played her. But she seems like she has pretty high base damage, tanky, good mobility. So that kind of fits in. Let me see. Jeez, he banned away the Yas. I mean, yes, I don't want someone picking Yas, but at the same time, like, if you troll your teammates like that, if they specifically want to play something and you ban it away, like, that's really bad. That's very annoying. So who do I want to pick in the dark into a Garen? Jeez, why? Like, that's not... It's the opposite of what we want. I guess I'm just gonna go Tahm Kench in the dark. We need a tank. I thought about going Janna.
Water forgets the names of the drowned.
Oh gosh. This is probably like a freaking gold 5 game or something. This is what happens when you duo with low gold people. Even if you break even, you get paired into games that are well below where you should be paired. And you would think that's good, right? Like, they're like, oh, well, you can beat these people. You're getting paired into a much lower game. Well, when you're support, it works a little bit differently. Like, I personally play much better in higher elo games because I'm able to complement other people that are good players. It's hard to describe. I've described it in past videos, but it's also a thing, like, I've earned the right to play in a better game because I'm in Platinum. I've almost been Diamond. I've been Platinum 1. So I don't want to be in here with people that cry all the time and that people are just going to freak out if their champion gets banned, or that have bad internet connections, or just have all of these other problems. And all of those things are much, much more prevalent as you go down in ELO. So as you get up and you start playing in Platinum and Diamond, that stuff does still happen. But much, much less, because people who complain and cry all the time and can't play multiple champions, these people don't climb in ELO very much. Oh gosh. Why would you do that? A Vayne into a Garen in top lane. What's Vayne gonna do? Like, she can knock him back a little bit, but who cares? Like, it's terrible. Like, well, actually, I don't know. Where's their Maokai? Is that Maokai middle? I mean, they might have some goofy stuff going on too over there. Okay, good. Tahm Kench totally hoses Leona. Can we just get something standard here? Can we just get like a Malzahar or a Victor or something? Or just a dodge, that'd be good too. Echo. I should probably dodge this. I haven't used a dodge today. The thing is, they have something goofy too. They have like a Malakar or something middle. Vayne's not even going to take teleport. I guess I'll play it. I mean, I regret it immediately. Like, I should have dodged it. But I'll play it. Just because I can save Vayne in team fights when she's going to get completely wrecked. They don't have the best... I mean, Udyr's not very good in team fights. And they have something like a Maokai middle or Garen middle. I don't really know. Like, there's something weird going on there. We do have a Trundle who scales very well. What is this? What is this? Is this just person just like unranked last season, or they duoed with somebody? I don't know. I really don't like this new system. I mean, I don't know many people that do. That like the new like multi where you can pick like 3 people on your team. Like, I don't know what was wrong with just having ranked 5s. Like, I do like the system where you can select your preferred role. But I don't like where you can have all these different people, and it feels like the ELO calculations are way off a lot of times too lately. But I do like where you can pick your selected role and how they, you know, give different people banning powers, so it's not all just on one person. Like, I like all of those changes. I think those are great. I just don't like... Just the matching system just feels really off lately. But it's okay. We'll get through. We'll win. We'll stay positive. For the record, I probably should have dodged this. But I'm going to try it. And the only reason that I'm trying it, like I said, this is going to be a relatively easy lane. Or not easy, but non-poke lane, I think. So I'm going to get a refillable. Have a rat, huh? So... we don't have a teleport, so we need to be careful. They have 2 teleports.
Anything of depth is deceitful.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
The only real sin is to deny a craven.
Like, I don't get it. Just dodge. If you can only play one champion, just dodge. Don't tell your team you can only play one champion.
All shall drown in my magnificence.
Minions have spawned.
What is Kate doing? gosh, this is what I'm talking about. Where people just like trip, like before the game even started. It's hard to tell who scales better, Kate or Twitch. I think Twitch probably does. But I don't think it's going to come down to that. I think it's just going to come down to a couple of key fights later on. I hose Leona's engage really hard. Now, they don't have a lot of burst either. Like, Vayne is very good against their comp in general. It's just, top lane I'm a little worried, but she could do okay. I mean, she does have a knockaway. If I can just heal for Caitlyn and Vayne in the late game. Okay, good. Alright, I want to eat this. Yeah, get this in his tower. Yeah, he's going to miss a ton off of that. Excellent. It's obviously not the greatest thing in the world for me to get that, but it's okay.
An enemy has been slain.
A couple of pinks. Okay, good. That was a solo kill. That's good. I mean, Vayne is good into their comp in the late game because they don't have anything. That's what I was saying. They don't have any burst to take out our AD carry. So Maokai is just really weird middle lane. And Udyr can't really get to people that easily. Neither can Garen. And their initiate is Leona, and I could cancel that with my W. So it's a goofy comp. I don't like that people are arguing. Traditionally, Vayne is not good top lane, but they don't have ways to get to our AD carry, so I think we can potentially pull it off. Oops, missed that.
An enemy has been slain.
Alright, great. Crushing him. Leona's probably in this bush. I want to put a ward in there, but she could instant clear it if she's right on the edge. That's really annoying. I can start poking a bit more. I want to not let him get this cannon. Okay, good. He got the experience from it, which is annoying.
An enemy has been slain.
Jeez.
Even when you have no bait, you can still get and hope.
Yeah, he is unnecessarily very scared of us. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, we are definitely bullying them out. Oops. Now, when I got this early item, though, that's pretty helpful. You always want to be careful when you go to ward, because they could engage on your AD carry immediately when you ward, so you always want to be careful. So yes, I do know there's a ward there, and I would love to clear it, but I don't want my AD carry to die while I'm doing that. Okay, it timed out. It's a little dangerous because there's this bush, but I do still have flash, so I can always just eat her and flash out if I have to. Yeah, he dodged it. That's fine. We got a flash. type out the time there. I need to improve, like... I mean, all I can do is type it out. I mean, either the jungler comes or he doesn't. Okay, he wants it.
Now we shall gluttonize.
We did get a lot of damage on it. A little bit dangerous using that because we don't know where Ymir is. He could very easily come in. But she wants to back, so let's push a little bit faster. At least I think she does. They're going to have a buy on us now. She should have backed. We do have a big experience advantage.
Wherever fools cross my domain. We all gormandize from time to time.
29 to 52. So yes, I'll take that.
Something to nibble on.
Oh, he used his thing. Nice.
All creation.
Now I need to save that pink also for when we gank the rat. Kill him. Let's let Caitlyn do the hits. If Leona wants to engage, it's fine.
New taste. I am appetite. My diet is expansively unique.
You don't want to be annoying, but just, you know, every couple of minutes or something, just remind him. I know he's getting red and stuff like that, but we really want to get a kill on this Leona before she gets her flashback.
Appetite never.
Oh. Meant to grab it. That's alright.
Another snack. Nothing escapes hunger. A true meal requires foresight to manifest.
Zone him out of experience. Now, Caitlyn hasn't bought yet, so that's the thing. So, yes, we are dominating, but Caitlyn, you know, hasn't really put that to good use yet.
Savor the misery. Gluttony.
I could have maybe killed him there. I would have gotten his flash, potentially.
Yummy. I have tastes that aren't easy. Pacify. I prefer to know when my next meal is.
I don't know about this. Maybe. Okay, Echo's coming too. No.
Suffering, my banquet is born.
Thought about it. I'll go ahead and secure this. I need to buy too, but it's not as pivotal that I buy right now. It'd be nice, but
Has its own hunger.
An enemy has been slain. Killing spree.
well, never mind.
A depth of flavor is what I covet.
Nice. Okay. So we got Echo in on it. Trundle is going to help top, which is understandable. So she should be able to clean that up, and that'll give her the solo gold and experience.
Has destroyed a turret.
Definitely that. Actually, do we definitely want to get that? I know I definitely want a sight stone, but I think the map is opening up so much that I actually need swift boots.
Refuse to succumb to culinary degradation. No true hunter will be.
Miss Kate's pretty solid. I'll give her that. I guess this guy's like platinum or something and he's playing on a gold account. I don't know. This does feel like a pretty good game from our side. Okay, I want to gain control of this bush. Make sure they don't ward it. There's people missing.
When you have no bait, you can still cast a line.
That was a little dangerous. I probably should have just killed him. But I know she doesn't have flash. Okay, it's fine.
An enticing culinary prospect.
God. Okay, he's got his ult. Okay. I'm not a... I've never played Echo, so I don't know exactly how all this stuff works. I just saw him taking a lot of tower hits. It probably may not have been necessary to eat him there, but... I knew his stuff... He'd already used his cooldown too, so I was just thinking if I killed him, or if I save him, and then when I spit him out, he'll have his cooldowns back, and he can do another round of damage. She's probably gone. Yeah, she's... Well... I can't get there. Well, shit. Maybe I can.
I search for bargains wherever fools cross my domain. All the world's a record. I am its king.
Godlike. Your team has destroyed a turret.
My diet is expensive.
That's fine. I'm buying them time, bottom. So, I mean, this is part of the problem. If you go, like, check everybody out, like, to see, like, who's, you know, who's which rank or who's what, like, you can really psych yourself out. You'd be like, oh, well, I knew we were going to lose this game because the other team had 3 plats on it, or 3 diamonds, or 3 golds, or wherever you are in your elo, you know? Don't be scared of that. Like, I've seen golds that play better than plats. Like, I've got a friend that's gold 4 right now that plays better than most plats. He doesn't play a lot. This is pretty... I mean, this Leona's just straight feeding at this point on purpose, I think. I think I'll show it anyways, though, just because it looked so dire from the beginning. You know, like I said, I probably should have dodged it. Just to kind of demonstrate that, you know, even if you have sort of weird picks on your team, you can still win. And the only reason I stayed is because they had a Malachi middle. But, like, every lane just crushed. A lot of it's just their mentality, too. They just have terrible attitudes. That's why they're losing.
Shut down.
Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Hate him. Got him, baby. Woo! Come on. Oh, I made him flash for it, I guess. Well, that took 3 people top, though, so Caitlyn had it. That was a bad... I should not have ulted there, first of all. Let's be clear about this. I should not have ulted there. I thought maybe I could get there in time to save Vayne. Just these... Like... Kate bottom and Vayne top in the last few minutes have lasted much longer than I thought. I thought they were going to die, like, instantly. When I see, like, 3 reds around 1 blue, it's like, oh, she's dead, don't worry about it. But then they just live for another 10 seconds, and I'm like, well, if I would have gone, you know, maybe we could have turned that around. But all my instincts are kind of off here. They're just not killing them when I think they should kill them. And we are up a ton of gold. I'm just getting the ZZ here just to close this game out. I also need to get a better sweeper. I'm pretty bad about that when I'm commenting, just forgetting that.
Anything of depth is deceitful.
So... Let's kind of direct him home here. You can still lose a game like this. I know it looks like we're just completely dominating, but it is possible to lose. So you always want to make sure that you stay focused. Just think about what you need to do, just so that people don't just... Because it's really easy if you're just sitting there chilling, listening to music or something, just to...
You have slain.
It's real easy just to sit there and chill and just listen to music and just go around and farm and just kind of go into autopilot mode when you should be trying to close out games.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Alright, so I've got that ZZ pushing for us over there.
Has destroyed an inhibitor.
Oh, she's going for the ZZ. Don't let her get it.
Your team has destroyed.
Yeah, there we go. See, our person just like wanted to report right from the start. It was a very troll game, but just try to keep people positive as much as possible. And yeah, I mean, that's it. Just try to keep people positive. Games are winnable, even if they look bleak. They are definitely winnable. Like I said, I would have dodged this. There are just a couple of question marks like that made me stay. So they picked Malachi middle, first of all. Udyr in the jungle is suspicious as well. Like, that's not nearly as good as it used to be since they nerfed a lot of his good items. Also, Tahm Kench is extremely good into Leona. So we had that going for us. That's 3 things on their team that are pretty good. We only had one questionable thing. So we had a Vayne top. Now Vayne ended up doing well top, but as I explained before, I think their composition, even if Vayne were to die a few times top, their composition still would have had problems in the late game because they don't have any instant way to get onto Vayne or to get onto Caitlyn. So they have some stuns, as you saw, like near the end there, where Kate got hooked by Leona, right? And then we had Udyr, everyone was on him. But once I just grabbed her, ran her out, then they can't get back onto her. Also, Trundle's Pillar is very good at peeling off melee champions that don't have a very good gap closer. So they don't have good gap closers. I mean, all they have is basically Malachi, who can get around a pillar, sort of, and Leona. So, and Caitlyn's pretty good into Twitch early game. Twitch is not that good early game, and Caitlyn's obviously very good early game with her range. So, God, they doubled the CS, 191 to 92. So we had good players on top of that, which, that you never know if you're going to get that or not unless you're playing with a pre-made. But those things are the only reason that I stayed. The bad part, of course, is we had that Vayne top and we had major psychological problems, which is, important to consider. We had a guy that was really mad that his champion got banned, and who was asking in all chat, like as soon as the game started, to report someone on our team. So, if you have deep psychological problems on your team, that's usually a good indication you should dodge. But it's possible I still should have dodged. I mean, obviously I won it, but, if you've ever played poker, you've ever thought, carefully just about critical thinking in general, that hindsight bias should not influence your decisions. Like, just because in poker, for example, you should fold a hand that's like 3-7 offsuit most of the time, if you're playing Texas Hold'em. But, even if you watch and the next 3 cards are 3-3-7 or something after the flop and you would have had a full house or something like that, you still should fold that 3-7 hand. Unless, there are some situations where maybe you don't. But just because something good happens out of a situation does not mean that was still the correct decision. So it is entirely possible that I should have dodged this. But I stayed. I thought there were enough suspicious things on their team to stay. Ended up working out. So I think I will post this one up, even though it ended up kind of being a stomp, just to show that if you stay positive and you think critically about the enemy composition, you can still overcome problems in your own composition or psychological problems on your own team. So I think it's just an important lesson there that you don't want to give up immediately. I think another important lesson is I would highly recommend not looking at LOL Nexus or any of these other programs. I think Curse might do it, I'm not sure, that will tell you the rank of people on your team and the opposing team, because you're going to psych yourself out. I mean, what good can possibly come of that? Okay, so number one situation, your team has a much higher rating than the other team. Okay, so you're going to come in, you could potentially be overconfident and just not recognize that people on the other team could actually be good. They could be a smurf, they could just be good. Maybe they usually have a bad internet connection, they finally got it fixed, and they're a really good player, they've just been held back or something like that. Or maybe they just constantly duo with someone that's much lower than them, and now they don't duo with them. So anyways, you just don't know. They could be much better than they seem. So you could come in confident, and then if your team starts losing, you might be getting psyched out, like, we're all platinums or we're all golds or whatever. How are we losing to these silvers, golds, bronzes, whoever? How are we losing to these people that are lower than us? So that's going to create a bad psychological state for you, and it's going to create unrealistic expectations. The same is true the other way around. So look at their team that game. They were complaining in all chat, oh, well, of course you guys won, you had 3 plats on your team. Right, and so now they're thinking they're underdogs right off the bat. They're going to be playing a lot more cautious. They're going to be scared. They're going to be nervous because they're playing against people that they perceive to be much better than them. And so they're going to start off in a bad mental state right off the bat. And if people start losing, then they're going to start blaming Riot, matchmaking system, and they're going to blame like being trolled by their teammates. They're just going to have this defeatist attitude right off the bat. Like they probably wanted to surrender at 5 minutes. The way that game was going. So basically nothing good happens. Either you think you're stronger than you are, or you think you're weaker than you are. If you think it's right in the middle, if you just look at it, don't think anything, then there's no difference, right? So it wouldn't matter if you looked at it or not. The only reason I could see looking at something like that is so you could see their runes, and you could potentially see if they're duo queued so that you know where the ganks might happen, or where there's going to be a lot of action and coordination. So, for example, if You look and a mid laner is duo queued with the jungler. You know that jungler is going to go mid quite a lot, and you could warn your teammates about that. Potentially. That isn't always the case, but oftentimes if there's a jungler that's duo, they're going to go help the person that they're duoed with, because they're probably going to be on voice comms. The same might be true of bottom lane. If you see someone that's duo comm bottom lane, you know, you need to expect some more sophisticated gameplay. So expect them to be hiding in bushes, to coordinate, you know, engagements a little bit better, things like that. Like, that could be legit reasons to look at those kinds of programs, but if you're just looking at it just to sort of see what the elo is of everyone in the game, I really think you're doing yourself a disservice. You should just come in just assuming that everybody is a good, reasonable player, and that you should just proceed accordingly. Like, don't be scared, but don't be arrogant. Just, you know, just play the best game that you can play and don't psych yourself out. Most games are winnable. There are, of course, some that are not winnable. You know, there's going to be games where every single lane gets stomped, and there's no way you were possibly going to win that game. This game, I'm not going to say it was unwinnable for them, but it was tough. It was tough for them. But most games are winnable. Many more games are winnable than people think. And if you've watched a lot of videos on my channel, you see that, you know, there's quite a few of them I come back, right? Or we're down at least for a good portion of the game. We win. Well, there's one, I think it was Tahm Kench. I can't remember which episode it was, but there was one fairly recently where they were winning the entire game by quite a large margin. My team was crying and wanting to complain the entire time. And then, you know, just their Annie was saying something to someone on their team. I guess maybe they just lost a team fight and Annie was complaining. She was just standing in middle lane near their tower. We just engaged on her, killed her. Everyone else collapsed to try to help her. We snared them, killed all of them. We had just taken Baron, so we were just able to walk the Baron minions right up the middle and win the game. It was about 30 minutes. So we had been losing the entire game. I'm pretty sure we were down like 15 kills. We were probably down at least 5,000 gold. We were down a bunch of towers. They may have even had inhibitors down. I can't remember. But we were losing the entire game. It's just one team fight, just catching Annie while she was typing there. We were able to win the game. So, moral of the story is don't psych yourself out. Don't beat yourself up. Just try to stay focused. Try to win the game. Most games are winnable. And before you think about dodging, like I said, it's very debatable whether or not I should dodge this. It's probably about 50-50. Think about the enemy composition and just see. Like, if this middle had been something like a Malzahar, or, you know, whatever a strong mid is right now, maybe Nivea's okay, maybe a LeBlanc or something like that, then I probably would have dodged if it had been like a LeBlanc, because then they would have had an assassin to pick our champs off. So we don't have very good peel again. Like, we don't have good solid lockdown CC that's good against assassins. So if they had a LeBlanc, we don't have a good answer for that. We have good slows, we have good zone control, but we don't have a lot of good hard locks. So if they picked a LeBlanc, I probably would have dodged. But because it was Maokai, I thought we could do it. So, okay, that's going to be it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, it did end up being a stomp, but I think it's still worth posting and watching just to think about how trying to be positive and thinking carefully about the compositions can actually yield very good results. And we did get a little lucky that pretty much everyone in the game was actually good, even the people that were complaining quite a lot. So we did luck out in that, but I still think that the strategic thinking paid off there to stay in that game for the reasons I described. So thank you very much. If you like this video, please check out the others. We have a ton of Tahm Kench on this channel. We have a lot of Zyra. We have some Nami. We have some Janna. We have a lot of supports on here. A lot of Tahm Kench, though. If you love Tahm Kench, this is your place to be. And if you watch a bunch of videos and you like them, you know, consider liking, subscribing, commenting on the videos, telling your friends about it. Anything you can do to interact with the videos, even just 1 or 2 clicks with a like, comment, subscribe, anything like that, just really helps out a ton with the visibility, because I think we offer a pretty unique kind of viewing experience here, where it's focused on support, which is pretty rare on YouTube to begin with. It's commenting on live games, so you don't have to deal with any of that stream stuff where, you know, you might sit there and watch a stream for 2 hours and watch like 2 games because the queue times might take forever. People might have to dodge, and they might not even play your favorite champion. So you know the champion that's going to be in the game. You know that it's going to be pretty in-depth analysis over a live commentary. You know it's going to be support-focused. And yeah, I mean, all of these things just make for great content, I think, that you can't really find in a lot of other good places on YouTube. So I think a lot of people would be interested in finding the content if they just knew I existed. I'm still relatively small, but we're growing every day, and I think a lot of people are catching on that we have some pretty entertaining and informative videos here. So thank you very much. I greatly appreciate the viewership. Greatly appreciate anything you can do to help out, and look forward to seeing you next episode. Have a wonderful evening.